Hello and welcome to Iron Port, where we bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. It is powered by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, when goods brought into the port overstay their legally stipulated time frame, they fall into the category we know as uncleared cargo list. And this phenomenon over the years has disrupted port activities by causing congestion. This week on Iron Port, we gathered the perspectives of key stakeholders to delve extensively into this subject and see if we can find some solutions. Here is an excerpt of that discussion. Take a listen.
If we have overstayed containers in the port, what challenges do they pose to operations?
A lot of challenges. You know, if you have a cup of tea and you keep pouring the tea in the cup and the cup is full, what happens? You either drink it and replace it or you find it difficult to add. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the port, the first thing, right from ship operations or vessel operations to the delivery end, it has its own impact. Even the equipment that we use, yes, the operational equipment, the movement of operational equipment becomes very, very difficult. And when we come to overstay containers, it causes congestion in the first place. And once there is congestion, there's delay in clearance.
Yes.
And if there's delay in clearance, it tends to cost the port that's doing business in the port so high. So it is important that congestion be minimized to allow clearance to quickly take place and also to allow operational equipment to be able to move the containers. If you look at our port today, once the quayside is congested, it means that the yard is congested. And once the yard is congested, it means that customers are not coming for their cargo. And when customers are not coming for their cargo as it should, and today, unfortunately, and fortunately for Ghana, August 2024, we saw the influx of containers coming into the country for various reasons. Yes. You will agree with me that with the Transit Alliance countries now tend to have a high taste for containerized cargo.
Yes.
And they prefer using Ghana ports because of the expertise and the stability when it comes to security and all that we have. So that has come to also increase. And also we saw the influx of containers coming from Eastern Europe towards August, September, and that point. And normally, the peak of our containerized cargo is somewhere November, December.
Right.
These days, it has changed. Even the first quarter that we normally consider as a lean season has become the peak season.
Right.
First quarter, as I speak, every minute we are discharging containers from MPS. And we are discharging containers from Terminal 2, BEF 1 and BEF 2. So if we don't take the containers, if we don't clear the containers as early as possible, then we are adding more into what we cannot put because the space is already. So it's more or less an attitudinal issue. And I keep saying that even if you give us Elwak Stadium or if you give us Accra Sports Stadium, and this attitude still continue,
it's going to end up getting choked.
Yes, it's going to end up getting choked. It's not about the port. It's about the attitude, the responsibility that each and every individual should take to make sure that what you bring in, take it out for another person to bring his or hers.
Right. Awesome. Let me come to Nana Fredia and find out from you why you think that some of these containers overstay in the port, because you are at the forefront leading the charge to clear these on behalf of your clients, that's importers and exporters. So how come that most of the time, or how come that at the moment we're experiencing, this challenge of having a lot of boxes, piled up in the port, getting stuck in the port, and nobody seems to care?
Indeed, there are a myriad of issues that account for the overstay of containers. And suffice to say that no importer really will bring something in if they don't intend to clear it.
Right.
So there should be real reasons why they stay. And if you ask me, the bottom line for all the delays is financials. I mean, we are blessed that in the last, couple of months, our exchange rate is declining, is going down. And so importers are having, some ease on their pockets. What used to happen in times past is the fluctuation of the CD against the main trading currencies.
The dollar, yeah.
And so by the time you ship and your things get to Ghana, the budget you had made to clear your stuff has been overshot by so many, thousands of CDs. And then people have to run around to try and make up the shortfall occasioned by the exchange rate disparities. And this has been the main reason why most of the containers overstay. And beyond that, sometimes it's also occasioned by delay in notification of the shipper by the shipping lines. And then sometimes people want to clear their goods. They come in as a part container. They come in as a short-landed cargo, and it's a project cargo. Things like that occasionally. There are also sometimes the delays in processing. It's also one of the causes. A lot of bureaucracy in our part of the world.
Right.
So these are the major ones. But the main issue is financial. Yeah.
So one would ask that if you are bringing in some consignment or goods, you probably would have done your due diligence and realized or noted that this particular thing that I'm bringing in is supposed to attract this amount of cash in terms of duty. Don't they do that due diligence before importing the goods so that, we wouldn't have these challenges of, I don't have the money here to clear, I'm now running around to look for money and all that. And we know that our system is such that you can begin the process of clearing before the goods even arrive.
Sure. Like we said, nobody brings in cargo and they want it to remain there. Most of the goods that come in are not personal effect, are commercial. Maybe it comes even as a consolidated, where a lot of traders, small-scale traders, put their stuff together in 140-footer container. It's all commercial, no matter the volumes that they bring in. But this industry, shipping, it thrives on predictability and certainty. So, like I'm saying, somebody may have budgeted, I'm going to China, I want to bring in this stuff, or Turkey, and my agent has told me how much it will cost me to clear. They've budgeted for all of this, and it gets here, and then these challenges come in. Our customs are always hell-bent on making sure they meet their targets.
Absolutely.
And suffice to say, sometimes along the year, when they realize at some point the target has not been met, or they risk not meeting the target, sometimes they do a few things.
A few things, like you are accusing, you don't have any evidence to substantiate what you are saying.
No, we change a few of the things. For instance, sometimes with things like, if I be specific, like maybe diaper bills and things like that, they change the way they do the computation. Sometimes they come to do it by weight, and sometimes they change. These things, we know they are technical things, and they do them to be able to show up revenue. And all of these things, like I'm saying,
sure you, Mr.
Oh, we are very sure. We've had to, sit and go and argue our case. Argue our case most of the time on these instances because, the bottom line is nobody brings in stuff they don't want to clear.
Right.
So when they get here and they get stuck, means something has changed. And most often than not is the exchange rate. That's the biggest culprit. But sometimes, like I'm saying, when the authorities realize that things are not going well, they change some of the things. Sometimes not because of meeting targets, but because they found out also that there are some loopholes that agents are taking advantage of.
So tell us, at what point do you receive the UCL, and then what do you do next once the uncleared cargo list has been brought to your attention as customs?
So the system has been provisioned with the statutory clearance periods for the category of cargo that I outlined earlier.
Right.
So once a hit or it goes beyond that, the system alerts.
Right.
So it can be printed on our system. But like logistic manager said, there's that camaraderie where the list is generated, it goes to the officer in charge, state warehouse, then they are moved to the designated storage areas. And so that's it. But that is system-wise.
Yes.
But like per our operations. But like Nana Fredria said, in terms of alerting the importer, it's their responsibility, the shipper or the shipping lines. Because sometimes he enumerated reasons why containers overstay.
Yes.
Sometimes some of the importers have late notices of arrival. Sometimes even the BLs that are issued to them are different from what they have in the manifest.
Yes.
Sometimes they come with errors. Sometimes there are vehicles which should come with the VIN number or something. The person processes their declaration at the point where they want to match manifest. Then the system suspends the declaration.
Right.
They have to go back to do an amendment and a whole lot of that.
So viewers, you just heard from David Songotu, who is the logistics manager at the Port of Tema, Chief Revenue Officer Esther Amekuji, who is the systems administrator at the Tema Collection of Customs, and Nana Fredua Jimanoforiata, who is the president of the Customs Brokers Association Ghana, delving into the subject of uncleared cargo list. Now, this is the abridged version. So for the full conversation, check with our YouTube at I Am Port. Let us now hear some comments that you shared with us on the subject we have just discussed. After, we will go on break and then return with more news. Stay tuned.
Peter Alu says, good evening, Iron Port and the panelists, particularly Esther and David. As a former teacher at the Customs Academy and former Chief Revenue Collector in charge of the outdoor Tema Port, I am proud of Esther and her clear explanations for the understanding of all. Prince Markings Boche says, hi team, please, I want to know how long it takes before consignments or containers are auctioned. A client imported 5 containers of rice, which arrived on February 25 and 24th April. The containers have been transferred from MPS to Amaris terminal, and upon few enquiries, we were told the containers have been emptied. How can this issue be resolved?
Yes, so what I would say is that for some of these things, they have to follow up to find out.
Right.
Because it will be on a case-by-case basis. So I can't give a generalized answer to it. But with the auction process, when goods are perishable, you expect that they will be auctioned within a certain time frame.
Right.
But then I will advise her, she has every right to go to our auction unit ahead of us with the necessary information.
Right.
Get feedback.
Okay.
Energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena.
You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately.
There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back, viewers. It's now time for our local news segment.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Brigadier General Paul Seidu Tanye Kulono, has reiterated the authority's commitment to improving the ease of doing business at Ghana's ports. Addressing a section of port stakeholders during an engagement section, Brigadier General Tanye Kulono emphasized GPHA's resolve to make port operations more efficient, less cumbersome, and cost-effective for the trading community. The meeting provided a platform to update stakeholders on ongoing improvements, exchange ideas on trade facilitation, and gather feedback aimed at enhancing service delivery across the ports. As part of infrastructure upgrades, the Director General announced plans to dredge the port of Tema by the end of the first quarter of 2026. This, he explained, will significantly improve vessel turnaround time. He also disclosed that GPHA has taken delivery of 15 out of 30 trucks acquired to assist in evacuating containers from MPS Terminal 3 to Terminal 2. This intervention, he noted, has already reduced container backlog from nearly 5,000 to 993 as of last week.
So hopefully, the plan is that by next week we'll hit zero, so that the standard 3 days, maximum days that container stays at MPS, we'll get to that level. My people are doing well. I want to promise that by the end of this month, we should hit the 2-3 days dwelling days at MPS. So that at the end of the day, we also encourage your people that as much as possible, they shouldn't also wait till last minute before trying to clear their goods. And this year, we'll be dredging at the ports. So plans are well advanced and it will be completed by the first quarter next year.
On infrastructure challenges, he acknowledged the poor state of roads leading to the port and assured stakeholders that reconstruction works would commence soon.
For now, we are trying to level the road that comes into the port. Plans are well advanced, and I'm sure by the end of the second quarter, and the construction will start. And so I think it's estimated to take about 6 months or less. So if you can appeal to your members that during the construction, there may be diversions and other restrictive measures. So they should just bear with us.
The president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, commended the Director General for engaging stakeholders and pledged GUTA's unwavering support towards GPHA's ongoing efforts.
Business thrives on the trade facilitation that you people will provide us. Then what is the facilitation all about? It's time of doing business, the cost of doing business, and the ease of doing business. And I could deduce that all of these were captured in your summary. That it gave me comfort. And then the fact that we are going to also work together, as you said, I'm happy trading community is going to give all our support to you.
Other members present called for enhanced collaboration to streamline port operations and improve information flow.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has heeded the cry of the motoring public in the port city of Tema by rehabilitating the Mangoadze Roundabout to Harbour Roundabout Road. The road, which had deteriorated significantly in recent weeks, had become nearly impassable and a major source of traffic congestion, with motorists and stakeholders in the shipping industry complaining and calling on the Port Authority to help ameliorate the situation.
I'm using heavy duty truck. Now do na problem I nya wa no na enye easy kra. Eba special Burkina trucks so mo basa na omo cars no ewa na emo odusi ye de no be break spring to me bu normal blocking traffic ewa ha. At times I had to be blocked by a kwan bi enu obefa na a control break pa special heavy duty trucks for no ye na ya e bread do pa
we say cars ni bi especially trailer drivers ni native person kwana akomu kurant e ba ne sabo se na container ne ye den eye fiso na to fo bi wonu ma na car na sa ye asama sorti I just want to free clean cab and I say we back for cliff bands and it me abede e be peja car na say den esi wonu mu.
After a series of appeals from the public and stakeholders alike, the Port Authority initiated action towards restoring the road. To address this urgent situation, GPHA commissioned MERS PA Engineering Limited under a certificate of emergency to restore the road within 16 days. The initiative forms part of a joint corporate social responsibility effort by GPHA and the contractor, with GPHA providing construction materials and PA Engineering supplying the necessary equipment.
Kapwa penny for to be frank, omaya de pa ye de asida any aye na de momo omaya de because oman hwe say ekwan ne ba beda o sa say cars ne stay na no mo be de on be to fomu o
na Kapwa for ye da mosi say omoye kwan na mai nyame hye omo na ye bisa na say Kapwa for na omoye tie da omasi pa omaya de.
The Director General of GPHA, Brigadier General Paul Seidu Tanyakulonu, and his team on Wednesday, May 21st, toured the project site to inspect the progress of work. Brigadier General Tanyakulonu impressed upon the contractor to endeavor to complete the project within the stipulated time. Accompanying the Director General was the Director of Port of Tema, Tebonzuma Esquire, General Manager Engineering, Engineer Kwabla Ofori, and some management members of GPHA. As part of efforts to expedite the evacuation of containers from the Meridian Port Services Terminal 3 to various inland container depots within the port of Tema, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA has commenced the construction of a dedicated link road. This initiative, the T2-T3 link road, is a component of the larger Central Gate to Harbour Roundabout Exit Lane project. The road is expected to provide a direct and efficient connection between the main port and Terminal 3, thereby enhancing traffic flow and reducing container transit time. On Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Brigadier General Paul Seidu Tanyakulonu, led a team that included the Director of Port of Tema, Tebonzuma Esquire, and other members of management to inspect progress at the construction site. Brigadier General Tanya Kulonu emphasized that the project is a strategic step towards improving logistical efficiency within the port by streamlining container transfers from Terminal 3 to other terminals.
As it stands now, the big containers from here, they have to go through town. It's about 2 to 3 kilometers. When the distance is about less than 1 kilometer. So that leads to a longer turnaround time. And at the end of the day, less containers are moved from MPS to the various terminals. So when this bridge is completed and the road is shortened, it will reduce the turnaround time. And our aim basically is to ensure that our vehicles will be at MPS waiting for containers.
Once completed, the link road is expected to enhance operational efficiency by shortening the distance between Terminal 3 and other port terminals, ultimately accommodating the growing volume of cargo traffic. These strategic projects reflect GPHA's ongoing commitment to improving port infrastructure and ensuring seamless logistics operations within the Tema Port Enclave.
The Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamauddin Ali, has undertaken an unannounced visit to the authority's Tema branch office as part of a broader effort to strengthen accountability and enhance operational efficiency within the maritime sector. The surprise inspection was aimed at gaining first-hand insight into the day-to-day operations of the branch and engaging directly with both personnel and seafarers undergoing certification processes. Dr. Kamauddin was received and led on tour by the Tema branch head, Engineer Emmanuel Tupei. Speaking to the media during the visit, Dr. Kamauddin Ali explained that the impromptu engagement was intended as a litmus test of staff diligence and service delivery, reflecting his commitment to ensuring that the authority lives up to its mandate in the eyes of the Ghanaian public.
I've taken that surprise visit at my own risk. I'm a new DG, but I've been in the office for 3 months. I am aware that my predecessors have built and I'm coming to continue. But I'm also aware that there's also a new momentum. There is a change in the country. Our president is providing us with a certain level of leadership. How are we collectively as a people responding to that? On the whole, my impression looks good. That staff members do respond to work at a very good time.
Following his interaction at the branch office, Dr. Kamauddin Ali and his team proceeded to the Tema Fishing Harbour, where they observed an enforcement exercise involving operators engaged in removal of submerged scrap metal from shipwrecks. While acknowledging the importance of clearing such wrecks to enhance navigational safety, Dr. Kamauddin stressed the need for strict adherence to legal and environmental protocols.
The Fed Women in Trade and Investment Conference has taken place in Accra, bringing together women entrepreneurs, policymakers, development partners, and trade professionals from Ghana and across the continent. Conveyed by the Women of Africa Network 1 in partnership with EcoBank Ghana and the After Policy Network, the event highlighted the critical role women play in Africa's economic transformation. Held under the theme Making the 21st Century Woman Export Ready, the 3-day conference is a response to the persistent barrier women face in international trade, from limited access to financing and technical training to gaps in export compliance and market exposure. In her welcome address, Dr. Gladys Nkrumah, Executive Director of ONE, called the conference a defining moment for women's trade empowerment, citing that equal labor participation by women could add up to $28 trillion to global GDP by 2025.
Empowering women in trade is far more than a matter of equity. It is a strategic economic necessity. Research indicates that equal participation of women in labor market could add up to $28 trillion to the global GDP in 2025. When women succeed, families prosper, communities strengthen, and sustainability development accelerates.
These thoughts were corroborated by the Executive Director for the After Policy Network, Louise Yao Afol.
I want to emphasize one point. We don't only focus on trade and investment, but women empowerment. And that is what ONE stands for, to fight for the rights, the trade rights, investment rights of all the women in Africa.
Swiss Ambassador to Ghana, Togo and Benin, Her Excellency Simone Giga, stressed that supporting women in commerce is a strategic investment for Ghana and Africa's future.
By empowering women in trade, well, let me put it like that. This is for us not just a moral imperative and a question of equity, but it is really also a strategic economic investment for Ghana, and I think it's also an investment for the entire African continent.
Delivering a keynote speech on behalf of the Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, a representative from the ministry emphasized the government's dedication to empowering women entrepreneurs.
The significance of women and youth in trade has also resulted in the National After Coordination Office collaborating with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, to commence the Ghana NCO UNDP Cooperation Project for Women and Youth-led SMEs under the AFTA.
Participants described the platform as timely and impactful, offering them real tools and connection to expand new markets and thereafter.
And so such conferences, as what APN is doing, is very, very important in that, first of all, it highlights the importance of the woman in the house and in the nation. It also gives her economic empowerment. Such conferences also help the woman to be noticed and for her challenges to be highlighted so that it can be supported better.
The Ghana Revenue Authority, Tema Community 1 Taxpayer Service Center, TSC, has held its annual tax clinic calling on clients to study the country's tax laws. The tax clinic was on the theme Transforming for Impact and Growth, Accelerating Domestic Revenue Mobilization Through Effective Compliance. The office manager at the GRA Tema Community 1 Taxpayer Service Center, Assistant Commissioner Prosper K. Goza, emphasized the need for the business community to be abreast with Ghana's tax laws in order not to breach them. He explained that after the due date, a penalty of 500 Ghana cedis is applied, after which each day of default attracts 10 Ghana cedis, stressing that GRA does not take delight in closing down businesses for lack of compliance.
Complying goes with costs, but if you don't comply, the penalty is so huge. And the system has also been configured in such a way that if you have an arrears, which you don't pay early, as soon as you pay, it gives you interest. So please, we are pleading with you, just try effective compliance. Once you comply, we are all good to go.
A debt management officer, Collins Obin, in a presentation said the benefit of tax compliance included taxation being the fundamental pillar for the country's financial revenue, avoidance of sanctions for failure to comply, access to government services, having investor confidence in their businesses, and financial stability.
Certain government benefits, including contracts, importation permits, and land title registration, requires a track record of tax compliance. businesses that demonstrate tax compliance are more attractive to investors, lenders, and partners, fostering growth and not expansion. So this is what investors also look at. So if you want to attract investors, please voluntarily comply with the tax laws.
Let us now turn our attention to the global stage and pick some international news.
The European Council and European Parliament have reached a provisional political agreement aimed at aligning more accurately the mandate of the European Maritime Safety Agency, EMSA. The agency carries out important tasks related to countering and handling pollution incidents at sea or the greening and digitalization of the maritime sector. The provisional agreement also provides for the possibility to update EMSA's tasks considering possible future challenges or evolving security issues at sea, such as cybersecurity and hybrid threats. Concretely, the new regulation will provide a more suitable legal basis for EMSA to fulfill tasks in the areas of maritime safety, pollution prevention and response, decommodization, surveillance, and maritime awareness. China's Hundong Zhonghua shipbuilding has kicked off construction of 13,000 TEU LNG dual-fuel container ships ordered by Singapore-based shipping company Pacific International Lines (PIL). The beginning of the construction of the first vessel from this series was marked with a steel cutting ceremony at Hundong Zhonghua shipyard in Shanghai on May 19th. The vessels are expected to be delivered progressively from the end of 2026. The new build will incorporate the latest technological and energy-saving features in addition to a dual-fuel engines and auxiliaries to run on both LNG and low-sulfur fuel oil.
For our phrase of the day, we will tell you what we mean by less than container load.
Less than container load. Less than container load, also called groupage, refers to cargo for several consignees which are stuffed into one container.
And now for our health and safety tip, we will give you the essence of checking your blood pressure regularly.
Check your blood pressure regularly. Hypertension or high blood pressure is called a silent killer. This is because many people who have hypertension may not be aware of the problem, as it may not have any symptoms. If left uncontrolled, hypertension can lead to heart, brain, kidney, and other diseases. Have your blood pressure checked regularly by a health worker so you know your numbers. If your blood pressure is high, get the advice of a health worker. This is vital in the prevention and control of hypertension.
Let us now take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. Now, viewers, this is where we end today's edition of Iron Port. We hope, as usual, you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Port content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Subscribe, like, share our videos. Thank you for watching.